So please welcome Glenn Parks.
Thank you. So let me start off a little song to kind of warm up. It's called The Bells of St. Mary's. Kind of lends itself nice to a 4-string banjo. Bells of St. Mary's. A lot of the songs that I do are ones that we play out quite a few places, and people say, do you know such and such? I said, no, but I'll look it up and I'll learn it for you. So that's how I got this next song. It's a Bing Crosby song. And if you know the songs tonight, sing along with me. It might sound better if you do. It goes like this. I love those dear hearts and gentle people that live in my hometown, because those dear hearts and gentle people will never ever let you down. They read the good book from Friday to Monday. That's how their weekend goes. I have a dream home I'll build there one day, with picket fence and ramblin' road. I get a welcome each time that I return, and my happy heart keeps laughing like a clown. I love those dear hearts and gentle people that live in love in my hometown. There's a place I'd like to go. It's Waverly, Ohio, where the friendly neighbors smile and say hello. It's a pleasure and a treat to meander down the street. That's why I'd like the whole wide world to know. I love those dear hearts and gentle people that live in my hometown, because those dear hearts and gentle people will never ever let you down. Will never ever let you down. Dear hearts and gentle people. You know, one of the things I'm asked a lot is how you got started playing the banjo, and everybody always says, oh, I always wanted to play a banjo, and but they never picked it up and started, so, you know, they've stayed right there status quo. I felt that way about tap dancing all my life. I always wanted to do tap dancing. When I was 60, I started taking classes. I didn't have enough time to practice tap dance and the banjo, so the banjo was more prevalent in my life. So anyway, I had a uncle in West Virginia, lived in one of those old houses up on the hill with no paint on it, and had a sitting room. Some of you can relate to that. And in the sitting room was a potbelly stove, and behind the potbelly stove hung an old banjo on a nail. And boy, I wouldn't give up till he'd get that down and play it for me. And so from the time I can remember, I've always heard a banjo. And so when I really got interested, I think I was probably in high school or something. We had comic books back then. Maybe we still got them. I don't know if they're fit to read anymore or not, but at any rate, we had comic books, and in the back of the comic book, it had all kinds of things to catch a kid's attention. You could sell greeting cards, you could sell grit magazines. I lived in town, didn't do well with that one. It was a farm paper. But there was an ad in there how to learn to play the banjo. I think it might have been 24 lessons for $6. I don't remember now, but I saved my money. I sent it into the company, and every day I'd run home from school, check the mailbox. This went on for about 2 months, and I never got any lessons. So I called the company, and I said, you know, I sent my money in for my banjo lessons, but I never got them. And they said, what's your name? And I told them. They looked it up, and they said, well, we show here where we mailed them out, so we'll put another set in the mail to you. And they did, and I got them. I practiced diligently. It was probably about 2 years later, I was watching one of those talent shows on TV, and there was my mailman playing the banjo. You can believe most of what I tell you here tonight. Here's one you can help me out. Let me call you sweetheart, I'm in love with you. Let me hear you whisper that you love me too. Keep a love like glowing in your eyes so true. Let me call you sweetheart, I'm in love with you. Here we go. Let me call you sweetheart, I'm in love with you. Let me hear you whisper that you love me too. Keep a love like glowing in your eyes so true. Let me call you sweetheart, I'm in love with you. Let me call you sweetheart. 90-year-old guy told his buddies, I'm getting married. He said, my God, man. He said, you're 90 years old. Why do you want to get married now? He said, she good looking? He said, not particularly. He said, she a good cook? He said, I got no idea. He said, well, she got a lot of money? He said, nah. He said, I think she's poor as a church mouse. He said, well, I don't want to get personal. He said, is she a good lover? He said, I got no idea. He said, why in the world would you want to marry a woman like that? He said, she got a driver's license. Help me out on this. Irene, good night. Irene, good night. Good night, Irene. Good night, Irene. I'll see you in my dream. Well, last Saturday night I got married. Me and my love settled down. Now me and my love have parted. I'm gonna take another stroll downtown. Irene, good night. Irene, good night. Good night, Irene. Good night, Irene. I'll see you in my dream. Sometimes I live in the country. Sometimes I live in the town. Sometimes I have a great notion to jump in the river and drown. We all do. Irene, good night. Irene, good night. Good night, Irene. Good night, Irene. I'll see you in my dream. Rambling, stop your gambling. Stop staying out late at night. Go home to your wife and your family and sit down by the fireside bright. Irene, good night. Irene, good night. Good night, Irene. Good night, Irene. I'll see you in my dream. How many of you remember a guy named Boxcar Willie? I met him twice, got his autograph. He was a real patriotic individual. He recorded this song. He added another verse to it. I don't know if he wrote it or if he stole it from somebody like I did him. But it goes like this. Sometimes she sleeps in pajamas. Sometimes she sleeps in a gown. But when they're both in the laundry, Irene is the talk of the town. Irene, good night. Irene, good night. Good night, Irene. Good night, Irene. I'll see you in my dreams. Good singing. Okay, I'm going to play a little game with you. I'm going to do the song, and then you tell me who recorded it. And if you do tell me, you'll be the fourth one that's got this right in all the time I've done it. So it goes like this. There's a part of it you help me sing. You'll see. Of all the saddest words that I've ever heard, the saddest was a story told me by a bird. It's been about an hour a-talking with a flower, and here's the tale the flower told. This your part. Oh, I'm a lonely little petunia in an onion patch, an onion patch, an onion patch. I'm a lonely little petunia in an onion patch, and all I do is cry all day. Boo-hoo, boo-hoo. The air's so strong it takes my breath away. Oh, I'm a lonely little petunia in an onion patch. Oh, won't you come and play with me? Who put me in this bed? I'll bet his face is red. I call him down with every teardrop that I shed. If I ever had him here, I'd take him by the ear and make him share my misery. Oh, I'm a lonely little petunia in an onion patch, an onion patch, an onion patch. I'm a lonely little petunia in an onion patch, and all I do is cry all day. Boo-hoo, boo-hoo. The air's so strong it takes my breath away. Oh, I'm a lonely little petunia in an onion patch. Oh, won't you come and play with me? Only one more verse. My nerves begin to crack anytime I see a track made by a kitty with a stripe right down his back. If he ever stopped by me, I think I'd rather be a dead petunia, wouldn't you? Oh, last chance. I'm a lonely little petunia in an onion patch, an onion patch, an onion patch. I'm a lonely little petunia in an onion patch, and all I do is cry all day. Boo-hoo, boo-hoo. The air's so strong it takes my breath away. Oh, I'm a lonely little petunia in an onion patch. Oh, won't you come and play with me? Okay. Now, does anybody know who recorded it? Who told you?
I didn't because you were here on Founders Day and told me
She's cheating on me, isn't she?
you can't go to the same place twice.
You aren't supposed to remember things that well. I can't remember what I did when I was here last. She's right. Arthur Godfrey recorded it. Now, how many of you watched the Arthur Godfrey show? Were any of you watching it the day he fired Julius LaRosa? Yeah. You know what? I go around a lot of places and I ask that same question. I think half of the country must have been watching that show because I've always got a lot of show of hands on that. Well, that was the day that Julius LaRosa got up and sang, and he said, not bad for a swan song. And that's when he knew he was out of a job. And Truth of the matter is, he had another group on his show called the McGuire Sisters. And the deal was, Julius had something going with one of the McGuire sisters, and Arthur was a little on the jealous side, I think. And when he fired him, that was the demise of his show, because the people like Julius LaRosa better than liked Arthur Godfrey. So, for the McGuire sisters, they're from up in the Miamisburg, Middletown area. I grew up in the Church of God, like Alva Anderson, Indiana, the Bill Gaither, what do you call it, bleep, whatever. Any rate, and their mother was a Church of God minister. I think that they probably went a little bit different direction than she would have had them to go as they grew up. So for the McGuire sisters, we're going to do this song. Well, sugar in the morning, sugar in the evening, sugar at supper time. Be my little sugar and love me all the time. Honey in the morning, honey in the evening, honey at supper time. Be my little honey and love me all the time. Put your arms around me and swear by stars above, you'll be mine forever in a heaven of love. Oh, sugar in the morning, sugar in the evening, sugar at supper time. Be my little sugar and love me all the time. Honey in the morning, honey in the evening, honey at supper time. Be my little honey and love me all the time. Now sugar time is any time that you're near, 'cause you're so dear, don't you roam. Just be my honeycomb and live in a heaven of love. Oh, sugar in the morning, sugar in the evening, sugar at supper time. Be my little sugar and love me all the time. Honey in the morning, honey in the evening, honey at supper time. Be my little honey and love me all the time. Sugar time, sugar time, sugar time. Here's a song we're going to do. Your grandparents sang this song, believe me. And it goes back to the 1800s, way back in the 1800s. See if you can help me out on this one. She'll be coming around the mountain when she comes. She'll be coming around the mountain when she comes. She'll be coming around the mountain. She'll be coming around the mountain. She'll be coming around the mountain when she comes. She'll be driving 6 wild horses when she comes. She'll be driving 6 wild horses when she comes. She'll be driving 6 wild horses. She'll be driving 6 wild horses. She'll be driving 6 wild horses when she comes. And we'll all go out to meet her when she comes. Hi, babe. Oh, we'll all go out to meet her when she comes. Oh, we'll all go out to meet her. We'll all go out to meet her. We'll all go out to meet her when she comes. What's the next verse?
Chicken and dumplings.
Who said that? No, that's not the next verse.
She'll be wearing red pajamas.
No, that's not the next verse. Has it been that long since you guys sang this in school? Okay, how many of you grew up on a farm? How many of you killed the old red rooster? Oh boy, my mom had a stump out there in the yard. That'd be cruelty to animals nowadays, I think. Oh, we'll kill the old red rooster when she comes. Oh, we'll kill the old red rooster when she comes. Oh, we'll kill the old red rooster. We'll kill the old red rooster. We'll kill the old red rooster when she comes. And we'll all have chicken and dumplings when she comes. Yum, yum. Oh, we'll all have chicken and dumplings when she comes. Oh, we'll all have chicken and dumplings. We'll all have chicken and dumplings. We'll all have chicken and dumplings when she comes. Now, I quit the song right there, and the girl said, you didn't sing the last verse. I said, I don't know any other verse. She said, you didn't go to youth camp. I said, we went to youth camp, but we didn't sing that song. So, here's the next verse, she said. Oh, we'll have to sleep with Grandma when she comes. Itch, itch. Oh, we'll have to sleep with Grandma when she comes. Itch, itch. Oh, we'll have to sleep with Grandma. We'll have to sleep with Grandma. We'll have to sleep with Grandma when she comes. I'm just going to share with you. I learned here recently. I'm always looking for little tidbits of information to share with the crowds. You know all men make mistakes. It's just the married ones know it a whole lot quicker. Pat and I were over in Tip City, Ohio. Some of you might know where that's at. And by the way, I did forget that part. Pat, you better stand up. I forgot to introduce my wife. I used to tell people I bring her with me so I don't have to kiss her goodbye, but that's not the truth. She comes with me because we enjoy being together. And believe me, I play the banjo, but I wouldn't be up here if she didn't help me, because she does all my bookkeeping, make sure I'm everywhere on time, make sure I take the right directions. Is my hanky tucked in my pocket? That's any good wife does that kind of stuff, right? And the women all said yes. So anyway, but we were over there, and when I got done, she said, "Do you do the song Daisy a Day?" And I said, "I don't think so." I said, "I think I've heard of it." So I asked one of the guys in the band, and he sent me a video clip, 1972, the Johnny Carson show, a red-headed Irish boy playing the banjo, incidentally, which didn't hurt. He was the one who wrote and recorded. His name's Jed Strunk. It's called Daisy a Day. And I understand about 6 months after he was on that show, he was his own pilot, and he had a heart attack taken off in his plane and was killed. Had he have lived, he probably would have written a lot more beautiful songs. Listen to the words of this song close, because it's one of my favorites. He remembers the first time he met her. He remembers the first thing she said. He remembers the first time he held her, and the night she came to his bed. He remembers her sweet way of saying, "Honey, has something gone wrong?" He remembers the fun and the teasing, and the reason he wrote her this song. I'll give you a daisy a day, dear. I'll give you a daisy a day. I'll love you until the rivers run still, and the poor ones we know blow away. They would walk down the street in the evening, and for years I would see them go by. And her love was much more than the clothes that they wore, to be seen in the gleam of their eye. As a kid they would take me for candy. I'd love to go tagging along. We'd hold hands and walk to the corner, and the old man would sing her his song. I'll give you a daisy a day, dear. I'll give you a daisy a day. I'll love you until the rivers run still, and the poor ones we know blow away. Now he walks down the street in the evening, and he stops by the old candy store, and somehow I believe he's believing. He's holding her hand like before, for he feels her love walking with him, and he smiles at the things she might say. Then the old man walks up to the hilltop, and he gives her a daisy a day. I'll give you a daisy a day, dear. I'll give you a daisy a day. I'll love you until the rivers run still, and the poor ones we know blow away. Guy went to the doctor for his checkup, and 6 months passed. He had to go back into the doctor again for his checkup. The doctor says, "Man," he says, "what was that little blonde I saw you with the other day?" The guy said, "Well, doc, like you said," he said, "find a hot mama and be cheerful." He said, "No," he said, "I said you had a heart murmur, be careful." Okay, I haven't been letting you sing very much. Here's one from 1892. I think you'll know it. Daisy, Daisy, give me your answer too. I have craved That was your warm-up. Daisy, Daisy, give me your answer due. I'm half crazy, all for the love of you. It won't be a stylish marriage, I can't afford a carriage, but you'd look sweet up on the seat of a bicycle built for two. We were sailing along on Moonlight Bay. You could hear the voices ringing. They seemed to say, you have stolen my heart. Now don't go away. As we sang love's old sweet songs on Moonlight Bay. We were sailing along on Moonlight Bay. You could hear the voices ringing. They seemed to say, you have stolen my heart. Now don't go away. As we sang love's old sweet songs on Moonlight Bay. Good one. Guy had a girlfriend. He was married, and he went to talk to her, and they had quite a discussion. He said, you know, he said, you're from Italy. He says, why don't you go home to have the baby? And he said, I'll send you whatever you need. He said, we can't have people here knowing what happened. And so she said, well, how are you going to know when I have the baby? He said, just drop a postcard in the mail and just put spaghetti on the bottom, and I'll know what it is. And he said, I'll send you whatever you need. 9 months today, he comes home from work, and his wife meets him at the door, and she says, man, I got the strangest postcard in the mail for you today. He said, let me see it. And he looked at it, and he passed out. He came to, the postcard read, spaghetti, 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 spaghetti. 2 plain and 2 with meatballs. That's the way it goes. Okay. If I said Daddy sang bass, what do you say? That was kind of quiet. Let's try it one more time. Daddy sang bass. That's good. We can go with that. I remember when I was a lad, times were hard and things were bad. There's silver lining behind every cloud. Just poor people, that's all we were, trying to make a living out of blackland dirt. We'd get together in a family circle singing loud. Daddy sing bass. Me and little brother would join right in there. Singing seems to help the troubled soul. One of these days, it won't be long, I'll rejoin them in a song. We'll be together up yonder a little while. Oh, the circle won't be broken by and by, Lord, by and by. Daddy sing bass. Me and little brother would join right in there. In the sky, Lord, in the sky. Now I remember afterward, Mom would call and all of us, you could hear us singing for a country mile. Now little brother's done gone on, but I'll rejoin them in a song. We'll be together up yonder a little while. Daddy sing bass. Me and little brother would join right in there. Singing seems to help the troubled soul. One of these days, it won't be long, I'll rejoin them in a song. We'll be together up yonder a little while. Oh, the circle won't be broken by and by, Lord, by and by. Daddy sing bass. That was weak. Then little brother would join right in there. In the sky, Lord, in the sky. In the sky, Lord, in the sky. Good job. Got a friend that plays in New Orleans, and you know, down there sometimes they'll set their case out on the street and let you throw money in it. I didn't do that tonight. But he tells people, he said, if this isn't the most beautiful song you've ever heard, you can come up and take money out of my tips. And I don't have the tips. You're just going to have to live with this. But this is supposed to have been the #1 song of the last century. And I don't know who determined that, but it's what I heard. Good sources nowadays, probably. See if you remember this one. Somewhere Over the Rainbow. Pat and I've got a place up in Holmes County. Most of you know where that's at. It's Amish country. And we've got a lot of Amish neighbors around us. Matter of fact, we don't have any English around us anymore except for over another farm back over that way. And so we were sitting in Whitmer's Ice Cream Parlor, if you know where that's at, in Winesburg, Ohio, on a Saturday night eating ice cream next to a little Amish lady. And we got to talking. She said, I said, I got my banjo in the car. They don't have radios and TVs, but they'll let you play the banjo as much as you want. And they'll even invite you over and feed you. That's another whole story we'll go to. But at any rate, so I went and got my banjo. And she said, do you know when it's lamp lighting time in the valley? And I said, no, I don't think so. And so I said, I'll look it up. Next time I come up, I'll do it for you. Well, it's a song somewhere in 1930 or so. Tex Ritter recorded it. And it's about a boy that's gone from home. He can't come home because he's sinned against his family, his loved ones. But he's going to change his way and meet his mother up in heaven when life's race is run. And so here's the song. There's a lamp burning bright in a cabin. In a window it's shining for me. And I know that my mother is praying. She is longing to see. When it's lamp lighting time in the valley, then in dreams I go back to my home. I can see that old light in the window. It will guide me wherever I roam. In the lamp light each night I can see her as she rocks in her chair to and fro. Though she prays that I'll come back to see her, still I know that I never can go. So she lights up the lamp and keeps waiting, for she knows not the crime I have done. see that old light in the window. It will guide me wherever I roam. Now, the little lady had asked me to do that song. I think I'm safe giving you her name down here. There's a little lady named Lizzie Yoder. She had 11 children. Sweetest little lady you'd ever want to meet. So I went over to her house and we sang that song. Her son came in and she said, Glenn, she said, do that again. So I sang it for her son. And he left because he kind of left the Amish way and he had to get home, watch the football game on TV. So when he left, then she shared with me, he had gone to Florida, was living with a divorced woman. She called him on the phone. She sang that song to him. He didn't say a word, but he came back home. So I always think it's nice when you got a nice little twist on something like that. But lamp lighting time in the valley. Well, you know, I grew up here in Ohio. And how many of you like cowboys? You know, I'd stay up late to watch a cowboy. You know, I'm sure you've experienced this. We've seen so many of them. We can watch the old ones. It's like starting all over again. We don't remember anything that happens in them. So anybody watch bull riding? It's got nothing to do with the show. My wife likes bull riding. And when we met, she's an athlete. I mean, she never played sports, but boy, she knows them all. And I'm learning. Because I'm a musician, I try to be a musician. Don't know a whole lot about the sports. So, at any rate, got to go out to Oklahoma this year. Got to play at the Gene Autry Festival at the Gene Autry Museum. And, boy, you know, that was quite an honor for me. I've done banjo's been my ticket to a lot of funds. I've played for Elizabeth Dole when Bob was running for president. Played for Reagan in Columbus with a group. Played for Clarence Brown when he was running for governor here in the state 2 or 3 times. And so going out there was pretty neat. And I'm just a little name on the program for Friday and Sunday morning, but I was on the program with Rex Allen Jr. and the Sons of the Pioneers and a lot of others. And so it's nice to be able to put that in your credits. One of the other things happened nice this year, I got to play on the plaza at the Grand Ole Opry with some of my banjo buddies. And so just sharing some of my experiences with you. And so talking about Oklahoma, we got a museum in Oklahoma City. You saw it there. I was one of the founding members of that museum. If you go in, there's a big plaque right on the wall. And it's about a $12 million facility. And we've got anybody you can think of that played the banjo, like Eddie Peabody, Harry Reeser, if you know those. Liberace used to have a little 10-year-old boy travel with him all the time, played the banjo. His name was Scotty Plummer. We've got all their banjos in our museum. Pete Seeger, we're taking in Roy Clark this year. Last year we took in J.D. Crowe. Year before was Earl Scruggs and a whole host of others. And so, oh yeah, Steve Martin. I get it right. See why I have her with me? She keeps me straight. So, for Oklahoma, we're going to do a Woody Guthrie song. Many months have come and gone since I wandered from my home in those Oklahoma hills where I was born. Many page of life has turned, many lessons I have learned. Well, I feel like in those hills I still belong. Way down yonder in the Indian Nation, I ride my pony on the reservation in the Oklahoma hills where I was born. Now way down yonder in the Indian Nation, a cowboy's life is my occupation in Oklahoma hills where I was born. But as I sit here today, many miles I am away from the place I rode my pony through the draw. While the oak and blackjack trees kiss a playful prairie breeze in those Oklahoma hills where I was born. Way down yonder in the Indian Nation, I ride my pony on the reservation in the Oklahoma hills where I was born. Now way down yonder in the Indian Nation, a cowboy's life is my occupation in the Oklahoma hills where I was born. But as I turn life a page to the land of the great Osage in those Oklahoma hills where I was born. While the black oil rolls and flows and the snow-white cotton grows in those Oklahoma hills where I was born. Way down yonder in the Indian Nation, I ride my pony on the reservation in the Oklahoma hills where I was born. Now way down yonder in the Indian Nation, a cowboy's life is my occupation. In the Oklahoma hills where I was born. In the Oklahoma hills where I was born. Oklahoma hills. You know, irregardless of what party you're affiliated with, that's not the thought. We are an oil-rich nation. You know, we got oil in every state in the United States. You know what the problem is? Just figured out all the dipsticks are in Washington. I'll share a little story with you. How many of you have been to Branson? How many of you have been south out of Springfield, Missouri, there on that 65, I guess it's down through there? Well, there's a Conoco station down there on 65. It's along about where Lambert's Biscuit Restaurant is, same intersection, I think, or exit. And I think we found out it's the same Conoco station where Conway Twitty passed away. And so anyway, we're going down to Arkansas. I did a convention down there for about 13 years till I had some major health issues and gave it up. But we go down every year and we support it. So we stopped there at the Conoco station to let the little dog out. And I looked and there was a great big long fence down the whole length of that lot. Pat was sitting down there in the car with the dog. So I go into the station to use the restroom, get a bottle of water. And I come out, she's standing in the middle of the lot yelling, "I've been robbed." You know, it gets pretty close to home when you start messing with your family, okay? So, long story short, she thought there was a guy trying to get in, or she thought it was me trying to open the door, so she hit the unlock. The door opened, the guy grabbed her computer and ran. So we went trying to find that guy, one of the boys from Lambert's there, and couldn't find him, made out a police report, and they came and took the report. I posted this on Facebook. Most of you know what Facebook is. I've got friends literally all over the world that play banjos that I stay in contact with. I could send one of them a note in England right now and he'd answer me right back. So anyway, here's what I planted. I said, we have a lot of God-fearing friends. I would ask all prayer warriors for God to intervene. We're on vacation. Pat was waiting at the service station for me to come out back to the car. She had the doors in the car locked. She thought it was me trying to get in. She hit the unlock, and a man opened the door, took her computer, and ran. It had all of our business records and information on it. We really didn't want to lose that computer. I started praying from that moment that God would intervene. God answers prayers for His peoples. I have been praying ever since the computer was stolen that God would intervene, and only a miracle could get that computer back, and I didn't care how. We received a phone call this morning from a detective in a neighboring town working on a stolen car case. He has our computer. Just luck? No way. Thank God for His love and mercy. Inside the computer case were 2 EpiPens that were not ours. We called the police and they said that they weren't ours, just throw them in the trash. Now you know what EpiPens cost. We've heard that on the news for the last year, $500 for 2 of them. So here's the rest of the story. The rest of the story, my nephew's wife almost died from a bee sting. It took paramedics 20 minutes to revive her. She posted on Facebook she was afraid to come out of the house without EpiPens. There are those that would say and call it just luck. For people of faith, we know better. Isn't that something, how God can work through things? And if He's not working in your life, I just say you got to live a little closer to Him because you'll experience His goodness. But I wanted to share that. How many of you follow gospel quartet music? That's my favorite music. I play everything. I got silly songs, and I play in a Dixieland band and a banjo band. But I'll clarify one point here. I've never had to play in a bar. So, and a lot of musicians do. I don't do that. But we met some guys down in West Virginia at the Fair Convention some years ago. Lacey Williams, he heads up the Gospel Harmony Boys out of Charleston, West Virginia. They were the first group that ever played on national TV on the Dave Garroway Show in 1954. So when we go hear them, there's a song they always do, and I kind of like it. And I was talking to Lacey on the phone. I said, "What do you charge me for a copy of that song?" He said, "Give me your email address." So he sent me the track and the words to it. However, he sings that first tenor part, the squeaky part. I can't get up there anymore. So I had to bring it down to my level. I didn't write the song. It's called Grandma's Graduation Day. It could be Grandpa's, but it's Grandpa's. See if you like this song as well as I do. The little church was filled with people, from the basement to the steeple. They'd come to say goodbye to my grandmother Jane. And the only thing she left them was the love that she had given them. They meant more to her than wealth or worldly fame. Now our pastor did not falter as he brought her to the altar, for so many times he had watched her kneel and pray. And the fire fell down from glory as he preached a gospel story and proclaimed today as graduation day. Well, today is Grandma's graduation day. All her pain and earthly trials are gone away. Heaven's welcome bells are ringing, angels choirs are sweetly singing, celebrating Grandma's graduation day. Now Brother Henry told us about heaven and the crown that she had been given. He described her joyous entry through the gate. All the saints began to shout, glad to see their friend, no doubt. My grandmother's debt of sin had all been paid. Then my mama and my papa come running up to the altar, where the love of God came in and he was saved. Well, all the joy and no more grieving, for my grandma was leaving and claimed her victory over death, hell, and the grave. Well, today is Grandma's graduation day. All her pain and earthly trials are gone away. Heaven's welcome bells are ringing, angels choirs are sweetly singing, celebrating Grandma's graduation day. Heaven's welcome bells are ringing, angels choirs are sweetly singing, celebrating Grandma's graduation day. Had 4 children. It's kind of hard to get out of this world if you're married and not have kids. A few people weren't blessed to get to have a family, I guess, but I had 4 children. My oldest son, I say he's a musician. I play a banjo. He took electric pianos at Wittenberg when he was 6 years old. He couldn't even read yet. And he learned to play the guitar on his own. He went to Korea a year unaccompanied without his wife and children in the Air Force. And they said, well, you'll have to try out to play the guitar. And I was going to buy one, ship it over, or have him buy and bring it back with him. So he went to try out, and they gave him the guitar to have the whole time he was here. He's a pretty good musician. Plays trumpet, plays the piano. And about 6 months ago, we went to Columbus, and he was ordained into the Church of God ministry, and he's going to be getting a church. Kind of proud of that boy. He did spend 21 years in the Air Force, but we never played music together. He played rock and roll, and I played what I play, and all that old people stuff, I guess. And he wrote us a song. The bottom line to the song was, my bags are packed and my shoes are by the door, and I joined the Air Force and you can't stop me. So 2 months into basic training, he called me crying. It wasn't quite what he thought it was going to be, but they kept him. I was telling that same story somewhere, and the guy in the crowd, he said, I heard that story before. I said, oh, you've heard me play? He said, no, I heard your son tell the same story. So first song we ever played in church, but we played the offertory in the Nazarene Church in Omaha, Nebraska on a Sunday night. Consider all the works thy hands have made. I see the stars, I hear the rolling thunder, thy power throughout the universe displayed. Then sings my soul, my Savior God, to thee. How great thou art, how great thou art. Then sings my soul, my Savior God, to thee. How great thou art, how great thou art. How great thou art. You know, they've written a lot of songs. There's a lot of good words to a lot of the songs they've written, but sometimes it's hard to beat the old ones. And talking about gospel groups, any of you remember the Statesman Quartet and the Blackwood Brothers? We used to go to Dayton Memorial Hall and watch all-night sings when I was a kid. They always ended a little after 12. I guess that's what was all night, but we never stayed there all night when I went there. So, and in one of our retirement facilities, we've got a guy, he was the head singer, lead singer for the Statesmen in their later years. His name's Big Jim Hill. I don't know how many of you know him or even aware of him, but he and his wife are in one of the retirement centers that we play. And so I get to meet him, got to take my picture with him. And, you know, it doesn't matter what we did in life. It don't matter. You could say a word and the whole ground shook around you or where you were at. People work for you and things. But life has a way of bringing us all down to the same level, you know. I got to meet Dr. Heimlich before he passed away. And when I set up like this to play, I go to the back of the room to kind of until it's my time to come out. And so I'm in the back, and this guy said, "Hi, Dr. Heimlich." I said, "Stand up. I want my picture taken with you." And even met a woman that rode down on the elevator. You know, he developed that procedure, but he had never performed it. And one night at supper, a woman was choking, and he performed the procedure and literally saved her life. Met her, too. So anyway, just a lot of nice experiences, a lot of nice people. So, Big Jim Hill, if you know that guy, here's a song that he was noted for. And you maybe didn't know who wrote it, but I'll bet you know the song. There is coming a day when no heartache shall come, no more tear clouds in the sky, no more tears to dim the eyes. All is peace forevermore on that happy golden shore. What a day, glorious day that will be. What a day that will be when my Jesus I shall see. And I look upon his face, the one who saved me by his grace. When he takes me by the hand and leads me through the promised land. What a day, glorious day that will be. There'll be no sorrows there, no more burdens to bear, no more sickness, no pain, no more parting over there. And forever I will be with the one who died for me. What a day, glorious day that will be. What a day that will be when my Jesus I shall see. When I look upon his face, the one who saved me by his grace. When he takes me by the hand and leads me through the promised land. What a day, glorious day that will be. What a day, glorious day that will be. Thank you. Well, I'm watching the clock on the wall, so we're getting close on time. We're not going to pass the offering plate, but this is a song that I say makes a good offertory song. They want to get you excited so you'll dig deep, right? All were Christian soldiers. appreciate you coming down to hear me tonight. I know how this works. You could have stayed in your room, or you could come down and listen to the entertainment. So it's a lot more fun to play for a crowd than a couple people in a seat. We have done that at the Brick, where our Dixieland band plays in the snow weather. We've showed up a couple times, and our spouses were about the whole crowd. But most of the time, we packed the place. You got to get reservations. I'd like to finish off with a little song. You know, I discovered a few years ago, friends are like a garden. If you want them to grow, you got to cultivate them. You got to call them when they're sick, see how they're doing, put them on your prayer list, and show concern for your friends. So I wrote this little song. It goes like this. Friends are like a garden. If you want to see them grow, you need to cultivate them everywhere you go. Water those seeds of kindness you sow along the way. Let your ray of sunshine make someone's brighter day. I'm so glad we had this time to spend with you. It is our desire that we made a friend or two. 'Cause friends are like a garden. If you want to see them grow, you got to cultivate them everywhere you go. Thank you.